Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. Get yourself comfortable and prepare for some interesting stories. One of them is a story about a crazy woman who demanded OP give them the car OP owns because that woman's daughter needs and deserves that car. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I hope you'll enjoy it. First, I have a fairly decent car for it being sold, a 16-year-old Dodge Neon SE. And I have zero interest in getting anything different since it's reliable, still gets great gas mileage, and is completely paid off and handles great. It's blue with a massive rust spot on the rear passenger side just above the gas tank, but I don't care. It gives the car character, you know. Second, the story takes place in Michigan, whereas anyone who lives here or has driven through here knows the roads here are terrible. Potholes, uneven streets, jagged pavement on every stretch of road you'll ever drive down. Getting a flat tire at least once in your life while living here is both a guarantee and a rite of passage. The flat tire detail is relevant. EP, entitled parent, aka entitled psycho. EB, entitled brat. DO, dealership owner, and me. I was driving through town after my shift at work and had to take a really bad street because that's all I had available to me. I do my best to avoid potholes, but I end up striking a few anyway, and lo and behold, my rear driver's side tire takes a hit. I can feel that something's wrong with the tire, so I pull off the road into the nearest open drive I could find. Turns out, I picked a used car lot, and had plenty of room to inspect the damage. When I step out of the car to look at the tire, another car pulls into the lot behind me and proceeds to park on the other side. I noticed that the tire was low, but not flat, because fortunately, that pothole only loosened the seal on the stem valve and I could fix it with a can of Fix-A-Flat that I keep in my trunk. While I'm fussing with my tire, the dealership owner comes out to greet me, most likely assuming I'm there to either trade in my car or shop around. When he sees my tire is low, he insists I slowly pull my car further away from the side of the road and up toward the front of the dealership building, out of safety concerns. I agree and move my car where instructed. Turns out I was being watched by dreaded EP and her demonic spawn. Not long after I get my car moved up, the DO is lending me a hand helping me with my tire, making sure the valve was secured and the pressure was stable. I thanked him for his help and proceeded to sit back down in my car. As I put the key in the ignition, I hear something bang against my window and look up to see a woman, the stereotypical Karen, trying to get my attention. I roll down my window to see what she wants. My bad. Me. Yeah, what's up? EP. Are you through yet? Me. Am I what? EP. Through. Are you through? Because my daughter's been waiting long enough. I looked past her to see a 16-year-old daughter dressed in a dark blue miniskirt, white tank top that showed everything, and 4-inch heels. This is February, by the way. She was also wearing so much cheap makeup, you'd think she was auditioning for a role as the Joker. Me. Waiting for what? EP. Don't act cute. She needs her turn. You've taken up enough of our time. Me. What are you talking about? EP. Are you stupid? Your test drive is over. Now it's EB's turn. The EB was standing behind her EP with her arms crossed over her chest, giving me a smug, wow, are you all commoners so stupid type of grin on her arrogant face. Me. Oh. I figure it out quick and try to defuse the situation. I wasn't on the test drive. I own EP. I said get out. Me. This is my car. EP. No, it's not. I just saw you pull back into the lot. We were behind you the whole time, so don't try to lie to me. Me. I wasn't. EP. You didn't even go inside the building to sign papers, so I know you're lying to me. You didn't buy this car. You're just being a stubborn little idiot. Me. No, this is my car. I have the EP. What the heck is wrong with you? Get out now. Me. No, this is my car. EP. No, it's not. My daughter wants it, and I'm going to buy it for her right now. She tried to pull open my door, but thankfully I locked it when I got inside. Give me the key! Before I had the chance to say anything else, she reached through my window and made a grab for the key in the ignition. The key was on a keyring with my apartment key and 4 other keychains, so clearly not the dealership key. When she tried to pull it out, I grabbed her arm and pushed her back. Me, get away! EP, you little idiot, you just assaulted me. I quickly roll up my window and I'm ready to turn over the engine and drive off when I see the DO returning. DO, ma'am, what's going on? EP, this little idiot just attacked me. Call the police. She attacked me because I told her to let my daughter have a test drive and now she's trying to steal the car. The DO looks at me, looks at my worn out dirty car with a faded bumper sticker on the trunk, and gives the woman the classic, "Are you serious right now?" stare. DO, ma'am, this car isn't for sale. This is her car. EP, no it's not. Until she signs the paper, it's not hers, and my daughter wants to drive it. She just got her license and I promised her I'd get her a blue car. This is the only blue car on the lot. It was not. There was another blue car parked behind her. And yes, her 16-year-old daughter, who just got her license, was going to test drive a car in heels. Dio, ma'am, this car isn't mine to sell. It already belongs to her. EP, no it doesn't. I saw her drive the car onto the lot. And I saw you telling her to pull up to the building. Stop trying to lie to me. Dio, she had a low tire. She pulled off. EP, why won't you let my daughter have her turn? She deserves her turn. Is it because my daughter isn't all easy girlish like this idiot? No, what the daughter was wearing, and what I'm wearing. Blue jeans, tennis shoes, a baggy shirt with Kirby Nintendo on it, and a green jacket over top. The only skin visible is on my hands, neck, and face. Dio, ma'am, stop. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. EP, no, my daughter needs this car. I promised her, and all you're doing is wasting my time. Dio, I'm asking you nicely to leave before I call the cops. EP, you do that, and I'm telling the cops that this idiot assaulted me, pushed my daughter, and that you're selling stolen cars. Now give my daughter this car right now, or else. She actually said, or else, like a darn cartoon villain. Dio, ma'am, leave. EP, this is ridiculous. She pulled her phone from her purse and proceeded to call the cops herself. You're gonna regret being so disrespectful to me. All you had to do was sell me this car, but no! You decided this idiot was better than my daughter. My daughter deserves this car. I know I'm not in the wrong, but I'm still nervous. I look at Dio through the windshield, and he gives me the look that says, everything will be fine. Watch this. About 5 minutes later, a patrol car pulls up, and the officer approaches the Dio. Before he even has the chance to ask any questions, the EP starts shrieking at him at full volume. EP, I want that idiot arrested. She assaulted me and my daughter, and she's trying to steal my daughter's car. The cop is unfazed and just looks at me, then over to the Dio without blinking. Cop, hey Dio, is this true? Dio, not a word of it. And if you want, you can check the lot security cameras. The EP is fuming, and the EB is just rolling her eyes like we were born her or something. EP, why don't you believe me? You're not seriously gonna take her word over mine. Just look at her. Cop, ma'am, I need to get both sides of this story. Now you said she tried to steal? EP, yes, that's my daughter's car. Cop, all right, fine. That's easy enough to prove. The cop walked over to the passenger side of the door, on the opposite side from where the EP was still seething, and motioned for me to open the door. I did, and of course he asked for my ID, my registration, and my proof of insurance. It didn't take the cop long to notice my name on the license and the name on the registration, which was also dated from almost 2 years ago, or a match. He just nods, hands me back my stuff, and closes the door. Cop, ma'am, that's her car. EP, not possible. She just got here. She couldn't have signed all the papers. Why are you all against my daughter? She needs a car. Cop, ma'am, you do realize it's a crime to try and file a false police report. This car isn't stolen, and I seriously doubt she assaulted you. I'm going to look at the cameras, and if I find that you're lying to me." EP grabbed EB's arm and pulled her along. EP: "Screw this place. All these cars are pieces of junk anyway. My daughter deserves better than anything that idiot would ever drive." The cop sticks around until EP leaves, apologizes to me for the disturbance, and wishes me a good day. Before he left, he said bye to the DO, again calling him by his first name, and was on his way. DO: "Don't worry about her. I don't think she'll be back, and if she does show up again, my brother, the cop, will be back too." After slipping me a business card, joking that if I ever needed another car in the near future, he'd ensure that no crazy people were hiding in the trunk. I thanked the man for coming to my rescue, drove off, and have been trying to figure out why my old car was so important to the EP ever since. Seriously, it's not that great of a car. Losing its pep and needing some TLC, but I still love it. She wouldn't let you talk. She wouldn't allow you to show her your paperwork that is clearly not from the dealership. And her daughter was planning on driving in heels? Talk about not only an idiot entitled parent, but also a car accident waiting to happen. Some background. This happened around 5 years ago. I was 23 at the time. I worked for a large cleaning maid service chain that specialized in both household cleaning and commercial cleaning. I don't mean to sound braggy, but I pride myself on my work ethic and ability to be highly productive. The first and only year they did this, I managed to get the Employee of the Year status out of the thousands of employees amongst hundreds of branches across Canada and the US, which came with a cool $1,000 bonus. I was good at my job, did special little things for the clients, like fancy towel toilet paper folds, nice vacuum lines, and was requested very often by clients. I had never gotten a customer complaint in the 5 years that I worked there. I don't know what happened with my mother's side of the family, but her siblings are all full-blown backstabbing narcissists, some worse than others, that constantly make snide remarks. My mother is not as bad as them, but she definitely has some narcissistic tendencies as well. My grandmother is a sweet, open-minded, non-judgmental woman, so it baffles me that all 4 of her children ended up being so junky. The 4 of them all married equally as junky people. Anyway, onto the story. My one aunt and uncle, who are the worst of the bunch, moved and needed a new house cleaner. They remembered that I cleaned houses, so they called my boss and signed up with the company I worked for, specifically requesting me. I came into the work the next day. My boss tells me the news. Knowing how she and her husband are, I was very apprehensive and asked the boss if that was a good idea, as it would be a conflict of interest. Basically, I tried to say, heck no, I ain't cleaning that idiot's house, in the most professional way possible. Well, regardless of my strong detest, my aunt was on the cleaning list the next day. I'll be honest, the first few cleans went totally fine. There were 4 adults living in my aunt's house at the time. My aunt, my uncle, their son, my cousin who was in university, and my grandmother. So it was a lot of work to clean up after 4 adults in a huge house. But it was nice to see my grandmother every 2 weeks, and like I said, it was all going just fine. My grandmother and cousin were always home when I cleaned, and my aunt and uncle were usually at work. My gran was always so appreciative, saying how good of a job I do, and that she could see why I was deemed Employee of the Year. My mom was proud and told her about it. It was going fine, until one morning I come into work and my boss has a confused, concerned look on his face. I ask him what's wrong. He states that my first complaint came in. I was shocked. And at this point, after so many years, I was on the pretty personal level with all of my clients. So I figured if there was a concern, I would get told it directly. My boss then says, "It's from your aunt and uncle." Shock turned into rage as my boss hands me over the printed out complaint email. I can't completely remember what it said, but I'll paraphrase as best I can. I just remember it being extremely cold. and I was being referred to as your staff. I guess I was not worthy of a name. Dear Boss, entitled Aunt and I are writing this email in regards to a clean we recently had done by your staff. To say it was subpar is putting it lightly. When EA and I got home from work, we found crumbs all over the kitchen floor. High dusting was not completed. The high dusting he was referring to were 9-foot tall shelves. I'm not allowed to climb ladders due to liability reasons. Hallways were not vacuumed, and some other things seemed intentionally missed. We are very disappointed in your staff, and think they should be reprimanded. The cleaning just is not good enough. We were only 98% satisfied. Blah, 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 and so forth. Regards, entitled Uncle. I remember the email being about a page long, but that was basically the gist of it. My boss was shocked. I was shocked, and after explaining how my aunt and uncle are, he threw the complaint in the garbage. I told him I was not cleaning their house ever again, and he agreed this time. Hallelujah! I got home from work and was still upset about what happened. The fact my family would try to get me reprimanded, the fact that they couldn't even use my name, the fact that they couldn't just come to me directly or email me if they had a concern. I called my mom and stepdad and told them what happened. I had taken a picture of the complaint email, so I sent it to them. They were ticked, like more ticked than I thought they would be. My stepdad called my uncle and told him he was a complete piece of garbage. Asked them exactly what their intentions were with that email, and why would they go out of their way to try and get their niece fired, reprimanded. Who the heck does that to their own family? My uncle was a complete coward and groveled at an apology with his tail between his legs. After he got chewed out by my stepdad, he called me. I let it go to voicemail. He left a voicemail basically saying, "Why would you tell your parents about what happened? This was a professional matter that should have been kept between us and your work. The email was a misunderstanding. We are so sorry, Brookie. Oh, now I get a name, a nickname even. Please call me back so we can sort this out." I never called him back. I did send them an email through explaining why I was so mad that perhaps the two adults who were always home made some crumbs after I left, and also why he was now dead to me. Once the rest of my family caught wind of what happened, I think my aunt and uncle told everyone to try and get them on their side. Spoiler alert, no one took their side. My aunt and uncle's children, my cousins, reached out to me personally to apologize for their parents' behavior. My grandma apologized for her daughter's behavior, and this whole thing essentially tore the family apart. My grandma moved out not long after. My mom didn't talk to her sister for a year. My stepdad still hasn't spoken to either of them since, and I haven't spoken to my uncle since then either. It's been 5 years. Also no contact for quite some time. There have also been no family Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter dinners since this happened. Everyone knew they were both garbage, but I guess this was just the straw that broke the camel's back for the lot of my family. Not your fault. Your aunt and uncle are idiots, and got what they deserved, and your uncle is a whole big idiot coming after you after he got his rear chewed. Definitely keep that voicemail in case he tries this garbage again. Also, nice job on your boss for agreeing with you, because in some cases, the boss doesn't care to hear the story from the other side. Well guys, that's it for today. If you end up enjoying this video, please consider subscribing. And if you missed the last episode on the channel, I'm going to link it right here. The story's about OP's auntie who's going to sue OP for money OP got after selling an art of Aunt's kid's favorite character. And I'll see you in my next video.